Governor Kemp has scheduled an event tomorrow to talk about COVID-19. He had a healthcare event today. He declined to talk about it when approached about the new executive order. Governor Kemp was at Wellstar Kennestone Hospital in Marietta, where he signed several pieces of healthcare legislation. It came just a day after he issued an order that explicitly overturns requirements in Savannah, Atlanta, and elsewhere for masks in public places and other new restrictions. But when asked to stop and talk about the ongoing statewide public health crisis, the governor retreated with his security detail.
I find very little value in anything coming from the governor's office.
Which may have been fine with one of the owners of an East Atlanta Village restaurant called Argosy. In recent weeks, Argosy closed, then opened for takeout, then opened its patio for table service. This week, it closed the patio as conflicting guidelines have come from the city of Atlanta and the state of Georgia.
We had already decided that it was too unsafe for our staff and guests to be even in that close proximity.
Armando Celentano says he's inclined to follow the guidance of Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, who reissued an order that calls for the closing of restaurant dining rooms as well as mandating masks. Bottoms spoke about it this afternoon.
That advice is very clear, that if you want to protect yourself and your customers, you should wear a mask. I believe that our city mask ordinance, and I believe those across the state, are defensible, that our policies are enforceable and they stand.
Kemp has said repeatedly that he thinks it is confusing when the state and the city have conflicting guidelines, and he is expected to talk about that perhaps tomorrow when he finally addresses his latest COVID-19 order, Cheryl.
Well, Doug, we know a lot of businesses are enacting their own mask requirements, so how does that play into all of this?
Well, the bottom line is they are private property, and the property is theirs. They can enact rules that they want, and really the government has very little say over those types of rules on private property.
All right, Doug, thank you.